So what's it like training at Legion American Jiu-Jitsu? Let's talk about it. So when you're driving from the freeway, exit off Miramar Road, and depending on which direction you're coming from, you're gonna turn and head towards west, I believe. This is Miramar Road, and if you've never been down this road, you're gonna realize soon enough that there's gonna be a bunch of potholes. So if you drive a lowered car like I do, you're gonna soon realize that it's see, like that. You have to be careful and just kind of watch yourself, because there's quite a few potholes on this road, more than average. So in here, this is the plaza that you enter. The school is going to be right here on the sort of the left corner. There's a big sign, Legion, so you can't miss it. Just start looking for parking. I just park right here in front of this med speed. So you start walking inside Legion, and it's pretty big place compared to a typical jiu-jitsu studio. It's huge. I like going in the daytime because nobody's there yet. So you're gonna be going through the front right here. You're gonna scan your app before you walk in. This is the mat area. As you can see, it's huge. Nobody's here yet, so I like to just get situated first. That's Troy right there. He's from the front desk. He's gonna greet you when you walk in. Right here you can see the chairs, and this is where you can sit and just chill. If you have a laptop, just work on some stuff before class begins. And so that's the area right there where everyone trains. Some medals right here on the hallway. This is when you're heading towards the locker room, whether you're male or female. Obviously, I'm heading towards the male restroom in here. So down the hallway, you'll just see a bunch of medals. This is the restroom for the male. You walk in, there's gonna be lockers. It's a modest size, not super big. Here's the restroom. Mouthwash right there, shower. Inside the locker room, what I really like, the main features I think to take away here, aside from the shower, obviously, which is just, modest size, is, there you go, mouthwash. You gotta have the mouthwash. And just pick a spot, really. You just pick a spot. And that's pretty much what the restroom looks like. Go back out, there's a map. Some of the main people at Legion. Just keep walking down this little hallway. That's what Legion looks like. From the restrooms towards the mats. And in the morning, it's gonna be like this. There's really no one here. Right here is filtered water, which is very good. Every time I walk in to Legion, I always fill up my mug. A few people are already training. So typically when we do like Gi classes with Professor Andrus, right now we're working sort of this two-person drill, where I'm preventing my partner from squaring off towards me. So I'm basically just controlling him here. So we do like these types of drills, which is really helpful, prior to actually doing live sparring. It's a good way to warm up the body as well. And so like right here, you see me just trying to keep my partner at bay. And eventually I will work on taking his back. And I think here you could see me just waiting for my coach. I just kind of wanted to see what he would say as far as me taking control. See, my coach right there, very attentive when it comes to training.
I want the person on bottom starting with some strong frames. Let's make it a little more difficult.
I think that's important because there's a few other places that I've been to that don't really pay much attention to you as far as the coaches are concerned. But over here at Legion, you don't have to worry about your coaches not paying attention to you, especially with Coach Andres. He's very attentive, and I really like that, because I really get details from his coaching. Other places won't necessarily do that. I'm sure there are other places that would be helpful as well, but a big place such as Legion, and to have coaches to actually be attentive towards you is definitely a plus.
Just the back.
Work specific techniques, not just always sparring, which is great. Having sparring sessions is great, but sometimes you want to improve certain techniques. You want to work on certain things that you may not have a chance to do so, especially when everything is just sort of nonstop and going hard or going intense and so on. And working with drills with a partner who enjoys doing that is a great thing. And at Legion, there's definitely people who will do that with you. Like my partner right here, Lewis, who is really big on working on techniques. So here in the afternoon, I park right in front of Legion. Actually, this is already early evening, although there's still daylight, as you can see. A lot of parents are done with their kids. So there's a huge kids class at Legion. And so, which is good. So that's a good sign. If you come in like around 5 in the afternoon, you're gonna see a bunch of parents waiting for their kids right here. Inside, a lot of kids are just about done with their class. As you can see, it's very lively. And so if you have kids, definitely I would recommend having them join Legion right here, because everyone seems to be having fun. The adults are just about getting ready to enter the mats, as you can see, because the kids class is done. So here's an evening Gi class with Professor Andres, really cool coach, just showing technique. And it's filled with a lot of people who show up at night. And there's actually 2 classes going on right now. So it's pretty packed. Nighttime, everybody is just doing their thing. And you can even hit the weights if you want to. That's why there's a little weight area on the right side. Sparring time at Legion is all about getting your rolls on. You can see there's people here that are just starting off slow, nothing crazy, which I think is important. There are people here that go a little bit harder as well, but I think it's something that's agreed upon between 2 people. Are there knuckleheads here? Yeah, you could say that every place has that one person that will try to go super hard on you. But for the most part, training at Legion, I feel that when you spar, it's usually agreed upon, you and your partner. Sure, you go hard because that's the nature of live rolls, right? Is you gotta test yourself. But it's not to the point where someone is trying to hurt you or someone is taking it personal and stuff like that. It's just about testing yourself. It's about seeing what you could do under pressure, depending on who you're playing with. The thing about training at a big place like Legion is you have the opportunity of playing with different partners, with different body types, different skill level, and different ways of doing things and so on. And so that's definitely a plus training at a big place. In Legion, they definitely work with you, or you end up working with other people. But the culture here is really laid back in terms of, oh, let's just roll and let's have fun. And of course, it gets serious. You play with people who are serious as well and will go harder. But overall, it's not about hurting each other. It's all about working towards improving yourself in jiu-jitsu. And definitely the vibe here is very positive, and it's something that allows you to grow. Not many places that I could mention that has a predominantly positive culture. Because even though the coaches will, of course, try to enforce that let's work together type environment, you'll still have students that won't necessarily work with you, whether they are just trying to hurt you or they're trying to win and so on. Because I've been in many places like that where it becomes very personal, where you spar with people who are angry for some reason. And that's not something that you experience here at Legion, at least not in my case. And I've played with just about everybody from Gi to Nogi here at Legion, and I can tell you that everything's been positive so far. So here's a Nogi class, and if you pay attention closely, you'll see that Keenan is here training with advanced grapplers as well. And he does this once in a while. He'll play with, people who are advanced, or other grapplers from other places are free to come here and train. Actually have a coach as well from 10th Planet Fullerton who comes here and trains every Thursday. And so that's a good thing about Legion, is that it's very welcoming when it comes to just improving or open mat training in the Gi or Nogi. By the way, these advanced classes are invite only, so it's not open to like the public classes. You have to be invited here, and you have to be sort of at the higher level of competition to be part of these classes with Keenan and some of the advanced students and stuff like that. So this is pretty much invite only right here. Yeah, I like Nogi because it's very challenging for me. I do a lot of Gi, but I also started doing a lot of Nogi. And it's very challenging. And when you go to a place such as Legion, where you have people that will be working with you, they won't go easy on you, but they'll work with you. They're not. It's not personal. It's not like sparring angry, like in some places that I've been to. But here you'll have grapplers who are very intense, right? They'll go hard, but it's never personal. Like I like Mike over here. He tries to go hard with just about anybody, but afterwards, it's cool. It's chill. It's never personal, and you can feel that. You can feel that when you grapple with people, when you play with different types of grapplers. You know if someone is being personal, if they're really trying to hurt you, right? If they're just trying to do some type of like wrestling move to hurt you because they won't allow you to tap, right? They're just trying to like do something to win. But here at Legion, I don't really experience that. You get to play with people who will go hard, but they're not trying to like hurt you. Or if they are able to tap you or get the better of you, fine. But if you get the better of them, that's fine too. It's not personal. So it's a great place to really improve your skills, where you don't have to worry about like a partner trying to hurt you or trying to go crazy on you. Even though they go hard, it's not personal. So right here you see me playing with Mike, again with a Nogi. And he likes to go intense, when he spars, which I feel like is a challenge for me because he's much bigger and stronger, and he's very explosive. Because it's not always just about working on technique, which I get with other people. And it's a challenge also being on the bottom against someone like Mike, because now I have to defend, and I don't want to make any excuses just because somebody's stronger, more explosive. I also have to find a way to negate the skill or the power that someone is giving to me. And yes, there's pressure, yes, there's intensity, right there, my partner pushes me, but it's all part of the game, it's all part of the training here. I definitely enjoy it, and that's why I train Nogi more than Gi over at Legion. And that's one of the benefits, I think, because I do it in the daytime, I do it at night, and then in between I do Gi. Having that ability to train all day, if you have the chance to do that or you have the schedule to do that, is really great because you get to experience everything. And Legion, why not, right? Because the vibe is cool. You're not going to worry about whether someone's trying to take your head off. You just do your thing, and hopefully you succeed. And if you don't, just try again. Keep trying until you get something positive out of it, and you keep improving your game. Now, in the gi, I like the gi as well because it's sort of like the opposite of nogi. Nogi, it's more dynamic. It's more about like wrestling and going into different positions and so on. But with gi, there's a certain technicality that you don't really get with nogi. I like the dichotomy between gi and nogi. So when I do gi, I work on other things that I don't normally get to do with nogi, right? With gi, I get to work on the lapel, just like the Keenan stuff, where you work a lot of the lapel stuff, which I personally enjoy doing. Also, there's obviously a lot more grabbing your partner and holding positions and trying to get out of those lapel grabs and so on. So just a little bit different than gi, but I do like that challenge and being able to just sort of train in a different way, right? And the thing is, when you go to a place like Legion, you get both. Sometimes you go to other places, there's only one specialty, whether they focus on gi or they focus on nogi. Like when I train over at 10th Planet, it's just nogi, right? That's all you get there. When I train over at AOJ, yeah, you get to do both, but the main focus is still the gi because that's what AOJ is known for. And so I like the ability to do both and do it in great abundance because you have a lot of people to play with, whether it's gi or no gi.
No. So one of our favorite passes here at Legion is the cross grip pass, right? I know I've seen a lot of you guys using this very effectively. Ian especially was killing it the other day in training with this.
One thing I forgot to mention about training at Legion is that you also have access to Keenan Online, which is an online resource where he has tutorials on both gi and no gi techniques. Now, I believe this is a very good resource to have to improve your game. And it's not just him teaching, he also has his coaches teaching all their specialties. And I believe they update this all the time, so there's always new lessons to be had. There's already quite a few right now. If you guys have an opportunity, and once you enroll as a student, you will have access to the Keenan Online. Regardless of how you feel about Keenan's methodology or American Jiu-Jitsu in general, one thing I can say is that Legion as a place of training is a great environment where you feel safe and you get the support that you need from coaches that pay attention to you and that will provide you with the tools to improve your game. It's not intimidating, but yet it's also intense. It just depends on what you're looking for. And so there's a place for everyone there from any skill level, from beginner to intermediate to the hobbyist to students, working professionals, all the way to competitors. You could be anything at Legion as long as you're respectful and you, again, follow the hygiene rules and stay away from banned techniques, and you're good to go. San Diego, there's no shortage of jiu-jitsu schools that you can go to, whether it be gi, no gi, competitive, hobbyist type school, more of a gym that's like MMA type. So there's so many different types of jiu-jitsu schools in San Diego, and it's just up to you. What type of environment are you looking for? I think with Legion, it's sort of like somewhere in between. You know, they're not the most competitive, but they're not the least competitive either. They're somewhere in between where you can be a competitor, but you can also be a hobbyist. You can bring your kids here to train. You could pretty much do Gi, Nogi. You know, if you get good enough and you get to the top level, you could be part of the invite only crowd. So there's a lot of things you can do at Legion, and I think what sets them apart from a lot of the other schools is that culture of support where, you know, no matter what skill level you're in, whether you're top level, mid, or you're just starting out, there's a place for you. So you may be wondering if there's anything negative about Legion, because everything I've been saying is positive so far, right? Every jiu-jitsu school that I've been to, I've experienced at least once or twice knucklehead or someone that I would not spar with again. And so Legion is the same thing, but for the most part, 90% or even 95%, I would say that everyone is supportive, everyone is helpful, and everyone's just there to train. You know, it's like a no-nonsense, chill environment where you can just do your thing, and if you need help, just ask for it.
You done? Trying to mess me up, man?
No, pull off the pants for me.
You're done, buddy.
So if any of you are thinking about training over at Legion American Jiu-Jitsu, I'd say go for it because it's definitely a great experience. It's a great vibe. You're gonna be working with partners who are willing to help you, but are also intense. You're gonna work with coaches who will give you tips, even spar with you as often as you can handle. And it's just something where you'll find that your jiu-jitsu will grow both in Gi and Nogi. And so I feel that Legion is one of those rare places where you'll have that sort of chill vibe and also have the intensity to back it up, where you don't feel like you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna feel more like part of a community of practitioners who are there to just better themselves. If I could leave you with a tip, I would say that I prefer doing the day classes as opposed to the night classes, just because I feel like the people are a little bit more serious and they just do their thing and then they leave. Whereas the night classes are okay as well, but it's more towards people who work the daytime. And so some of them are not as serious or as competitive. That's what I would say the main difference between the daytime and the nighttime students. Os.